Hi guys and welcome back to Sunday League to Champions League. My name is Chris aka Big Will, and here in episode 6 we have tough games away against Hampton and Richmond, who as you can see are the current league leaders and they are dominating this league at the moment for the most part. And then we have a home game against 19th place Welling, where we'll be hoping to get a decent result. As you can see with the league table on the right of your screen, we are currently 13th at the moment, so we're holding a good mid-table spot, and we're 6 points from being in the midst of the playoffs, and at the same time we're 9 points clear of that bottom 4, which is the target that we need to be looking at more so than potential promotion. Form has been reasonable at best. Since you were last with us for the game against Chippenham that we got a good result in, we ended up 3-0 down against Taunton in that game and came back to draw 3-all with 3 goals in the last half an hour. We had a good win in the FA Trophy against Cray Valley to win 2-0 with Ken Giles bagging a very quick brace in the second half. But we then followed it up with 2 games at home against Oxford and away against Weymouth, where we lost each of them 2-0, and we didn't look very good in either of those games. But then we managed to pick up a good win against bottom club Dover, but it was left quite late from Zach Newton to get that winning goal, and it was very difficult, but we did very well in the end to get the result. I am hopeful that we can get a good result against Welling at home in the second game of this episode, but to get a good result against the league leaders Hampton and Richmond, every single player is going to have to be on point, and I can't see us getting a good result, to be honest, but we'll see how we get on, and we can just hope for the best. If we can get a draw out of the game, it will be a really, really big bonus, ready for the upcoming busy period in December. So as you can see from the squad layout there, we've got Ackers in goal, Cracknell, Okocha, John, Pitblado at the back, Smith, Hamilton, Ree and Greenup in midfield with Burton as well. Smith and Charles are actually up front. It's 4-4-2 that. I don't know why Jaden's coming up. Jaden Smith is coming up in the middle of that, but we're still sticking with the 4-4-2. We've not been doing too bad with it, but like I say, we're a little bit hit and miss, but that is just down to our individual player quality at the end of the day. It's been a tough time at times, but we are doing okay to be 9 points clear of that bottom 4, which, like I say, not getting relegated is the target. And if we can keep up doing what we're doing, then we should do rather well. Hampton and Richmond with the ball early on here. Alidor Hamilton looking to get onto it, finds Okocha who knocks it forward, it's cleared by Davis. This is Hickinson, he has support ahead of him if he can find it. Alidor Hamilton did well, but now McKnight plays it all the way back to his central defensive player Fernandez. We managed to get it partially away, but Hampton and Richmond just wave after wave of attack here. We just can't seem to get out, and the chance there came for their centre forward Wood, but it went wide of the post. As you can see as well, in terms of the way that we're setting up for these episodes now, the pitch is a little bit closer in, so it's a little bit clearer to be able to see who's doing what on the pitch. Hopefully that will improve matters during these videos, and it'll just give a little bit of a clearer outlook on what's going on in the games. So please let me know if you find it any better to what it was previously. John manages to make the clearance there after the post being struck by Hampton and Richmond, and as you can see, they've been far the better side. They've had more possession and more chances so far in this first half, and we are yet to have a shot on target. Oh, tell a lie, we've just had a shot on target. So we are growing in the game, but it's, to be fair, with them extra shots we've just had, it's quite even overall, to be honest. And considering where Hampton and Richmond are in the league and how well they've been playing, I'm quite pleased that we are at 0-0 at the moment. Um, we'll just big the lads up a little bit because Hampton Richmond did beat us in the opening game of the season. It was a 1-0 defeat, which was scored by winger McKnight, if I remember correctly. And Drew into Inman now. Plays it back to Fernandez. Now Davis. Whittingham. They're just holding on to the ball very comfortably at the moment. And Wood manages to get onto it. Okocha does well to clear, but there's no pressure on their defenders from our strikers there. And Donaldson holds onto it and finds Davis. We are looking to try and break forward if we get an opportunity, and Greenup manages to get onto it here. Greenup holds onto it on this right hand side, plays it back to Cracknell. who looks over the top here. Jaden Smith gets onto it, has support in the penalty area and finds Ken Charles, and we have a 1-0 lead here, away at the league leaders. 1 minute gone in this second half. It's a huge goal for the club, really, considering the state of affairs at the moment. But what a fantastic start to this second half we've had. Really well worked move on the right hand side as goalkeeper Akers looked to knock it long there. Aldo Hamilton into Greenup, and now Smith plays it across. Charles was there. It's come back for Burton, who couldn't quite get it back in for Charles. And Hampton and Richmond are going to clear here with Drew, the right back. Looks long for Wood, and Wood gets onto it and finds McKnight here. Wood is clearly the dominating force up there, and he's had a good strike there. He beat our defenders to the ball, but his strike goes wide, and Akers manages to keep hold of his clean sheet for the time being. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting to be winning this game by any means, considering the way the season's going, but this is a very good performance from the lads so far. Pip Blado looking over the top. Ken Charles couldn't get onto it, and Davis clears, but it's only as far as John. McKnight looks to get onto it, but we hold onto the ball well. And Pit Blado does well to find Burton, who knocks it forward, but Fernandez intercepts. Drew now inside to Inman, surrounded by 3 of our players, and Burton is on the offensive here, and Burton decides to strike it. It's a very easy save from Julian, really. But again, really positive. We've had the strike at goal again, and for now, we're looking quite good. Alidor Hamilton is looking tired again. He works so hard in that midfield, to be fair. He's been a really good signing for us so far. Despite his slight issues disciplinarily, he's been a very good player for us. And Ken Charles could be in behind here. Pip Blado with a brilliant ball over the top, and it's a wonderful save from the goalkeeper in that situation. And we look to get forward again, and Ken Charles could be in again. And he did get there. There was a hint of offside, though. Will this count? It looks like it's going to. It's going to be a 2-0 lead here against the league leaders. Ken Charles with a brace. And I thought he was offside, like I say, but that is a really, really big goal for us. And with 25 minutes to go, we're looking very positive all of a sudden. We do have a highlight straight from kickoff, though, with Drew here. Now Negru looks over the top for Hickinson. Alidor Hamilton does well. Now Ree into Pit Blado. John looks over the top for Jaden Smith. Can he nod it on? No. Negru does well defensively. Now Curran Brown. Moving down this right-hand side here for Hampton and Richmond. Still Curran Brown. Back to Drew. Whips it in. Looking for Wood. And Wood beat the defender and the keeper to it. Miscommunication at the back, it would appear. And Wood has pulled a goal back here for Hampton and Richmond. 1 minute after Ken Charles doubled our lead. And we're still in front. And considering we were 2-0 up, I mean, I said at the start of the game a draw would be great. And Wood's in again, and it's just wide of the post. He is dominating our defenders at the moment. I did say I'd take a draw at the start of the game, but considering we've been 2-0 up, I feel like we should be doing more now. And Whittingham with a shot just over the bar as well there. And Hampton and Richmond are getting more and more chances. And I'm getting a little bit nervy here. Considering we've been 2-0 up, we want the win. As Negru charges in, wins the header. It's 2-2 from the set piece, and all of a sudden we're not looking quite as comfortable. We're going to demand more from the side, and we're going to have to make some changes. Alidor Hamilton is struggling, but we've got players on yellow cards as well. We're going to bring Alex Glynn on. Ken Charles we're going to take off, I think, just because he's struggling for fitness. Zach Newton's going to come on, and I think we're going to take John off and put Raul de Silva on as well. We've got to leave Alidor Hamilton in there. He's so key for us in that central midfield. It's 2-2 here with 10 minutes to go. And I just hope we don't lose this game now. Here's Miller Rodney. Plays it to Donaldson in space. And that is a thunderbolt from the left back. It's 3-2 now to Hampton and Richmond. We've gone from 2-0 up to 3-2 down. And this second half performance after going 2-0 up is not good enough. We have got a potential opportunity here. It's a long throw and it's going to be cleared away, and Hickinson is ahead of Josh Ree, and Hickinson is still charging forward. Surely it's not going to be 4-2. This is Curran Brown. Plays it into Miller Rodney. He squares it for Wood, and it took a deflection, and Akers makes the save. But all of a sudden, this is all Hampton and Richmond now, and We've gone from being in such a good position to just falling apart at the back, conceding 3 goals in the last 20 minutes, and we're going to lose this game. I think we're in another highlight here as the game looks to draw to a close. There's only a minute left of added time, but it's Hampton and Richmond that are coming forward. Curran Brown passes Pit Blado, gets the cross in, and Wood again dominating the defence. It's over the bar, but it doesn't matter now. It's 3-2, and unless we score straight away here to claim a late equaliser, I think the game is done. Akers with the goal kick. Glynn couldn't win the header, and it's fallen here for left back Pit Blado, who looks over the top for Smith. It's cleared by Negru. Cracknell does well to win it, but there's no one there to support. And Hampton and Richmond are just going to play this about for the last few seconds here. Donaldson was there, but it's cleared away. It's finished 3-2, and considering we were 2-0 up, that is not a good result, to be honest. I'm not happy with the performance in the second half. Like I say, considering we were 2-0 up, we should have done better. But we'll have to take it on the chin. We were favourites for relegation for a reason. And the fact that we were 2-0 up and losing is not a good sign. We've got to be better than that. And Wood, their striker, just completely destroyed our defence there. It was really, really poor against him. And we've certainly got to tighten things up defensively and get some centre backs that have got a bit more physicality about them, to be honest. But again, financially, we haven't got the backing, so there's not a lot we can do. We've got to stick to the squad that we have. The Welling game is only in a couple of days' time, so I'll play through until that game, and we'll just carry straight through on this video. And yeah, yes, Hampton and Richmond are top of the league. Yes, they probably should have won the game. But the fact that we were 2-0 up and we lost is not good enough for any team. Whether you're bottom in the league or whether you're top of the league, you should not be losing when you're 2-0 up. And yeah, it just wasn't good enough. I mean, Negru absolutely dominated when he came off the bench. He's a centre back, and again, look at his physicals. His strength's only 10, but the rest of his physicals are so strong, and his heading is quite a good rating as well with his determination. And he's on loan from Oxford there. We haven't got defenders of that quality, and he was off their bench, so it shows how strong that they've got in their squad. I mean, Joshua Kocher, again, physicals are okay, but and his heading and everything is good as well, but the rest of it isn't really that good. And in terms of set pieces, we've not been scoring many either. I think it's going to be something that we're going to have to look at, really. I think what I might have to do is I'll change that to far post, and I'll also change that one to far post as well, and we'll just see if that helps at all. But in terms of the way we're doing well at set pieces, we're not scoring many, and free kicks we've had a couple, but corners we're not making the most of, and we need to. A side of our quality has to make the most of any chances we get, and we're not getting those chances at the moment. But with the home game against Welling coming up, the fact that we've scored 2 at Hampton and Richmond is a good sign. But again, conceding 3 after being 2-0 up is not good enough. And it doesn't matter who we're playing against, we can't be doing that. So, with the home game against Welling coming up, I'm hoping for slightly better performance defensively. I couldn't really fault Ken Charles up front though. He worked really hard in that game, got a couple of goals for us, and he started to come good recently. Jaden Smith has been on and off with his form. When he's been on, he's been scoring 2 to 3 goals each game that he's been scoring in. But when he's been off, he's just not looked like doing anything. So it's food for thought at the moment. And like I said, there's plenty of improvement to do, but we've got no money to do it. So we've just got to take it on the chin and hope that the players can develop as best they can. And like I say, we've got no facilities practically either, so what will be, unfortunately. And it's taken a little bit longer to get through these couple of days than I anticipated for this home game against Welling, but hopefully it shouldn't be too much longer. And we can get cracking with the second match at that point. I mean, you look at the 13th place we're in, and we were favourites to finish bottom of the league, and I want to be in and around 40 to 45 points, maybe 50, at the end of the season, and I think that'd be enough for us to stay up. But the league's been so competitive this season between so many different teams, and it's very, very close between all of the teams overall, apart from maybe the real like contenders for the title and partially the playoffs. But there's 10 to 15 points between middle of the playoffs and bottom of the league for the most part. So a good run of form for any team can really push them up the table, and we've got to be mindful of that. So we need to carry on doing what we're doing and trying to get good results. We've actually got a very good striker coming through our youth academy. Apparently, we've got potentially a good goalkeeper and a good centre back. So we've actually got three centre backs coming through. We've got a left back and a right back and a goalkeeper, two central midfielders, a winger on either side, two attacking left wingers, two attacking midfielders as well, and two strikers. So potentially for our youth set up, that might be the way that we get new players in. Considering the quality that they're supposed to have, we might be doing some promotion through the youth academy when they come in. Youth academy normally comes through in and around middle of March time, if I remember correctly. So they'll have time to come into the squad for the last part of the season for sure. But it will be difficult to orchestrate them into the side depending on their quality. So, but hopefully we'll have some good youngsters coming through, which will ease the burden a little bit. But yes, you still have to pay them wages, so we're still going to have work to do financially for sure. But hopefully, with the youth academy players coming in, they tend to want less money as well. So it could be that if they do rate better than some of the players we've already got, they'll be on less money than the players currently at the club, and we might be able to offload some players and then start turning around that overspent wage budget that we've had for most of the season. All best plans, of course, but the proof will be in the pudding at the end of the season. We'll have to wait and see what happens and go from there, really. But the fact that we've got good strikers coming through, that is a good sign, to be honest, because I think in terms of goal scoring, we've not been too bad this season. But they said that we've got some good defenders coming through, so that is the area that I really want to focus on. And if we can get those defenders into the senior side and they do prove to be good quality, perhaps we will be able to solve our problems without having to do any extra uh, bidding for other players in the summer. As you can imagine, with only 2 days between the games, we've had to make some changes, so Ackers remains in goal. Reynolds, Okocha, John and Mackenzie are at the back, with Burton, Seeger, Alador Hamilton and Newton in midfield. Charles and Smith remain up front. One or two of the players are struggling a little bit for fitness, but they're having to come in and just stay in the side anyway. Alador Hamilton especially, he is such a key midfielder for us at the moment. He is the best player in that midfield that we have, and it's vital that he plays. And yes, he has been suspended a couple of times, but he is the ball winning midfielder, so he is naturally going to be getting stuck in and pick up yellow cards. But hopefully we can get a little bit of a more solid performance at the back today for this game at home to Welling, and hopefully we can get another uh, decent game out of the lads and get a better result than we did against Hampton and Richmond. As Liam's Foster finds Maloney, Seeger does well there, finds Jaden Smith who plays it through here for Ken Charles, and he struck it superbly, but it's over the crossbar. But a real positive start there in the opening 5 minutes. Roberts with the resulting goal kick. Newton does well to win that, and Seeger loses out to Dunn. Now Maloney. Burton does well to win it against Alito. Reynolds looks over the top for Charles, couldn't find him, and Seeger manages to get onto it in central midfield. He needs the support and finds it in Zach Newton wide right. A brilliant ball over the top, and Charles is in, and Charles plays it past the goalkeeper. It's his ninth goal of the campaign, Ken Charles. He's looked quite sharp already at the start of this game, and we have a 1 goal lead. It's certainly his episode so far with the 2 goals in the previous match as well. And for the most part this season he has been a bit quiet, but he did well in that FA Trophy game, like I said previously. And he's just starting to pick up a little bit in that advanced forward role. And Jaden Smith has been struggling in that deep lying forward role for goals, but it doesn't matter. He's playing well and they're linking well as well. So we've got a corner here with Seeger. The change in set piece routine hopefully might herald a goal for us. So toward the far post, it's cleared away by Ezenholm, and this is Zach Newton now. Good turn from Zach Newton, and the shot took a deflection. It didn't fool the goalkeeper, though he managed to react well enough, and it remains 1-0. And Welling are just about above that relegation zone at the moment. But looking at the way that we're playing, I mean, we're dominating the game. Welling have only had the one attempt, which wasn't on target. And in terms of other chances, we are absolutely dominating at the moment. But at 1-0, it doesn't matter. Anything can happen at this small scoreline. And a big error from Lyons Foster. And Ken Charles was in behind, and he should be putting that away from that position. He really should. It don't matter what level you're at. You've got to hit the target from that position. And unfortunately, he makes the error and doesn't put it in. Welling looking over the top there, but Eckers makes the very simple claim there as he looks over the top for Jaden Smith. Olamowewe into Ezenollim. Now Maloney, back to Ezenollim. Now Mason. Zach Newton does well to win possession here. Zach Newton moves forward. He has Ken Charles in support and finds Ken Charles. Will he make the mistake again? Oh, he's put it past the keeper brilliantly, but he's clipped the outside of the post. And again, really good opportunity. That could have been his third of the game, but as such, it still remains 1-0. And unfortunately, he's wasting a couple of chances. And at 1-0, it's a little bit of a concern. It's not comfortable at this scoreline. And yeah, we're going to have to be very careful, I think. But as it stands with this result, we are moving up to 11th place in the table. Like I say, as it stands. We don't want the lads to get complacent. We're playing very, very well. We need to stay on point and continue to work in the manner that we are doing. We're dominating the game, but we need to be converting more of these chances. Alidor Hamilton is struggling once again for fitness, so he might be a substitution that we have to make, unfortunately. He's so key to our midfield, but I don't want to risk any injury either. And Jaden Smith's struggling for fitness now as well. So I think what we're going to have to do is actually make some of these changes now. But there is a set piece first for Welling, and it's in a dangerous position, and it's going to be number 10, Alito, and he strikes it, and it's straight in. Mehdi Alito scores for Welling. It's their first shot on target, and they've gone and scored it. We haven't taken advantage of our opportunities, and Welling all of a sudden look like they're going to be in the ascendancy. John does well to clear. Ken Charles controls it superbly, and Zach Newton now looks over the top for Jaden Smith, and the defenders got a bit confused there, but poor control from Jaden Smith allowed the defender to get back, and Welling are pushing on again here, and Alito in space. Now Barnes looks over the top, and Aziz is in behind. If he squares it for Payne, and it's well cleared by Johnny, vital winning of that header, and it's cleared forward, and hopefully we can create an opportunity ourselves here. And it's fallen for Jaden Smith. It's saved by Roberts. It's come for Burton. Lays it back, and Smith again. It's another save from the goalkeeper. We're just going to pause it there for a minute because I'm going to have to make some substitutions. Alidor Hamilton's going to have to come off. We're going to bring Stylianides on. Okocha's on a yellow card. We're going to take him off for Raul da Silva. And I'm going to switch Jaden Smith and Ken Charles round. And I'm going to take Harry Burton off for Alex Glynn as well, I think. They are our two informed strikers. We need to leave them on. And look at the number of chances we've created. And yet, as I said before, we were 1-0 up for so long. They've had one shot on target and scored it. And we're going to demand more from the team as well, as Reynolds does well to get onto that. And he does very well with the pass as well to find Seeger. As Glynn looks over the top, Jaden Smith couldn't get there. And Barnes almost losing possession there. Aziz couldn't beat De Silva in the air. The fresh centre back that we brought on there. And Ken Charles looks over the top. Jaden Smith makes the run and he gets onto it here. Jaden Smith, brilliant finish. The switch around has worked. Ken Charles doing well as that deep line forward there to create the chance for Jaden Smith. Deservedly, we are now back in front. And now we've got to maintain. Straight from the kick-off, we have another highlight though. Olomawiwi into Ezenollim. Well, his pass was poor, and Mackenzie finds Zach Newton now. Are we in a position for another attack? Zach Newton with a brilliant run, but his pass was shocking there. And Alexander couldn't beat John in the end. Stylianides looks over the top, and Jaden Smith could be in behind again. It's Jaden Smith. Roberts with a brilliant save there. Really good opportunity to wrap up the victory, in my opinion. And we've got a set piece now as the highlight continues with Seeger looking toward the far post is the target. Seeger looks to the far post and it's cleared away just, and Alito just about loses out to Ken Charles, but Ken Charles has brought him down here, and it's fortunately for us it's only a yellow card, and it remains 2-1 as John with a free kick. Now Seeger. John again lays it back to Akers and patiently just plays it to Da Silva. Looks over the top. Jaden Smith does well to win the header. And this is Ken Charles now around the keeper, but Roberts just about gets onto it. And it's come now for Alex Glenn on this left-hand side. Plays it in. Cleared away from Ezanolim. Sega into Stylianides. Looks over the top. Ken Charles was there, but Roberts makes a comfortable claim in the end, and it remains 2-1. But look at the number of chances we've created in this game. Welling have had the one shot on target, like I say, and scored. It was a lovely free kick from them. But in terms of actual creativity, Welling have been poor today. As John looks over the top here, Jaden Smith gets onto it for the opportunity, plays it in toward Ken Charles, and it's going to be cleared. And Ezanolim looks over the top for Alexander, and he finds Maloney. Aziz didn't read the pass, and fortunately for us, he didn't read the pass. But a huge error from McKenzie, and Aziz is there, and Akers, I think, touched it onto the post, and it was almost a very late equaliser there, and we got away with that. We really did get away with that. As Zach Newton with the throw-in. He's just holding on to it for a little while, and he fools everyone and finds Stylianides. And now Alex Glenn into the penalty area, and it's a poor strike, and he's put it wide. He had a lot more time than he probably thought there, but it remains 2-1 as we go into added time. We should have at least had 4 or 5 goals today, judge about the chances we've created. John looks over the top. Ken Charles couldn't get onto it, and it's going to be cleared away. And Craig beats the fullback to it, but Da Silva is there to mop up the loose ball. And Akers clears, and Jaden Smith will look to get onto this. And he's beaten Sendles White in the air. It's Jaden Smith into the penalty area, and he's put it wide. Another really good opportunity missed. Yes, we're still in front, but we have to be converting these chances. We've had so many good shots today in this game against Welling. And Alito looks into Maloney, now done. Alexander. Are Welling going to snatch an equaliser here? Alito to Aziz, and it's 2-2. It's not 2-2. Thank God for that. It's been disallowed. But I would have been fuming if that had accounted there. The number of chances we've had, and we've almost thrown it away again after that game against Hampton and Richmond as well. The full-time whistle has gone and we've got the win. But like I say, we almost threw it away at the end there. And despite our dominance, we ended up being lucky in the fact that their goal was offside. Still a lot of work to do. Our strikers need to be more clinical than that. But we got the result we wanted. We've got that win against Welling that we needed. We're 10 points clear of that bottom 4. So we've got a good gap of comfort, really. We're 5 points behind the playoffs, but I'm not interested in qualifying for the playoffs. We're not good enough for that yet. And in terms of actual fixtures, we have got some tough games coming up. As you can see, the FA Trophy third round is at home to Woking, who are in the league above us. So that will be a very, very tough cup tie for us, unfortunately. And I can't imagine us doing well in it, but who knows? We might get a little bit of a cup run, but we'll have to wait and see. So in terms of our actual match schedule, as you can see, we're a bit stop-starting form there. I think what I'll probably do is... Let's have a look. So as we go through, we've got quite a lot of games there. I think what I'll do, I'll come back at the end of January. I'll get 5 games played off camera. We'll come back for St Albans away and Slough at home. And that'll certainly wrap up January at that point. And then we'll be into probably Hungerford and Eastbourne at home at the end of February. Maybe. Might even go into March before we get to the next game, but we'll see how we get on. But I reckon St Albans away and Slough at home for the next episode. And until then, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. All your support is greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. And this is Big Will, signing away.